Hi and welcome to Beck's Bug Out Survivor. This video is a viewer response. So what is a viewer response? Somebody has contacted me via the comments and said their pack, I think he said, was 17 kilos. What can I do about that? And I don't want to go down the road of buying expensive lightweight kit. So that is what we're going to sort out today. So the first thing to note is the actual pack. Combat UK 50 litres. I want to be warm, I want to be sheltered, and I want to be well fed. It looks very similar to the PLCE Bergen. This one's by Combat UK and it's 50 litres. I have everything without compromise. People think they need one of everything or one of everything they've ever owned, and they feel the need to put it in their pack. When it doesn't fit, they get a bigger pack to put all their gear in. So if you have everything in a tub or on a shelf under a bed, all your kit, you're only going to bring out certain elements of that that'll keep you warm, dry and well fed. That is just 3 things. Now it's also called IOU. I, something to get in, O, something to lie on, and U, something to get under. But before we do anything, I want to weigh this pack. So I have a luggage scale here. I'll do it in kilos so I understand it. Get my glasses on as well, and we'll have a look. Now remember, this other guy had 17 kilos. Bring it down. I've got 9.7. Already, that is a saving of 7.3 kilos. First thing is on top and under the lid is my shelter. It's going to be the first thing I'm going to want to put up to get out the rain. So it's all about rain protection, whatever is on the top. This could be your poncho, your sleet sheet, your tarp, your basher, your tent, you name it, it's your decision. And before you think, yeah, but Bex has only put in his smallest, lightest items to prove a point, I've gone the other way. I put the heavier elements of the kit because the guy did say in his response, I do have all like the army kit and everything. He wants to go lighter and not go down the road of buying lighter kit. First of all, just under the lid, easy, fast, accessible rain pants and a rain jacket. Why do I bring these? Wet gear is cold gear. And like I said, it is kit without compromise. Also, I bought a tent. Now this tent goes up on trekking poles. I use trekking poles. This is a bit of a weight saver. It has, let me see, 400 grams heavier than the British Army MTP basher. So yeah, I could go a little lighter by 400 grams and I could go a little pack size smaller. But I don't want to do that. It is kit without compromise. Also in the pack is some further insulation because I said I'm not going to compromise. So this is my warm layers. Warm kit can be anything you want it to be. It can be your North Face jacket. It can be a merino wool jumper, but certainly a hat. I have lighter. I could go with down. I could go with a down hat to keep my head warm. I suffer with my fingers. I have Raynaud's disease. But a pair of mittens. This is where it could be your wool jumper. This is where it could be your North Face or your down jacket. In my case, it is the Special 6 Buffalo. It is pile lined like that and paired up with another garment, which is something I'd be wearing anyway. This is okay. Just this over a t-shirt in the summer is fine. Why would I wear something like this in the summer? 3 o'clock in the morning, even in Britain, unless it's a heat wave, can get a bit cold. Again, kit without compromise. I am not going lightweight just to make a video. This is the long wide X-Ped AirPad. Do I have lighter in my collection? Yes, I have one at just, I think, 460 grams. I think this is 1.2 off the top of my head. It's a hefty old AirPad. It's wide, it's long, it is comfortable, and then married up with the tent, it is absolutely phenomenal. And let's have a look at the pack comparison size. The tent is not much bigger than the AirPad. It's a bit heavy for trekking, to be honest, but it goes up on trekking poles, so theoretically it's a trekking tent. Do I have lighter? Yes. Again, I'm demonstrating with heavier kit because I don't want you to think I'm cheating showing you light kit. If you have something with a pole system in, take the poles out, take them out of here, slot them down the side of your pack. This then squashes up nice and small, and I bet you your tent won't be a million miles off that once you get rid of the poles and carry them separate. Finally, a sleeping bag, which is something to get in. IOU. I could go down the road of conning you and put in a lightweight sleeping bag in. This is a fibre pile fleece. It has a nylon shell. It is the NGT fishing sleeping bag. You're thinking, yeah, but if it rains, all your kit is going to get wet if you just leave it in your pack like that. I know what you're thinking. It's been commented 100 times before. Once again, I'm going to credit you with the intelligence, obviously, to have a pack liner. The only reason I haven't is for speed and ease of filming this video, okay? And I'm not going to talk down to you like you're stupid, but keeping it simple is the simplest solution. Something to sleep in, something to sleep under, something to sleep on. 3 elements of kit you trust. So this is going lightweight without compromise. Keep this bit simple. Now this sleeping bag, the NGT fishing sleeping bag, is actually more bulky than my army sleeping bag, some warm kit, which is at Buffalo 6. The big old AirPad, and yes, I have lighter and could go lighter that way. But remember, with the video response, doesn't want to go out and buy lightweight kit, hasn't got the money to, just wants to use his existing kit. So keeping things simple is the simplest solution. Just 3 things, and that is all that should be in your pack. I've added in a nice warm jacket because I do sleep cold. I am a cold person. If you're not, you could save yourself some weight there. All that dictates the size of your pack is trip duration, and that means how long you're out for, really. So I want enough food now for that amount of time. In the side pocket, I'm going to show you my stove, and there's no need to get bent out of shape in the comments if it's not your cup of tea. It is quite a big pot. It has a stove in and all the fuel I need. There is enough there to sustain me for 3 days. I could go down the road of using a 500 milliliter pot, which is just great for boiling water, and then all I have to do is add that boiling water into a freeze-dried meal, and it is a lot lighter. It's also expensive, freeze-dried meals. Now remember, the criteria I've been given by the viewer is not too much expense added in. And yes, a 58 pack mug, you can put a ration pack in and boil in the bag, or empty the content even and put it in your 58 mug, and you can use a combination of whatever stove set you want, and then that way you can regulate the weight of your stove. But for me, I'm not going to count the grams on something like that. So I'm going to choose a pocket. I'll choose this outside one. and put my pot in. Using wet foods, maybe I can get 5 days out of that. Now, a 5-day bug out will be amazing because British Army SEMO is set for 3 days. So, what's that, 72 hours, yeah. So, wet foods in there and the ability to cook it, I'd have to throw in a spare gas canister, but 3 days, 1 gas canister. It's 16 boils divided by 3 meals a day and a couple of brews, you know, it's plenty. Water, kilo a litre, I generally use 2. There are different ways carrying water other than putting it in your pack. And I once said on the video, I do not put water in the pack. There are other ways of carrying water. Only to find in the comments that somebody had put their fingers in their ears, didn't want to hear me say there are other ways of carrying water and said, you've got to carry water, you'll dehydrate. That's bad advice. Well, of course it is, because I never said don't bring water. I said there's no need to carry it in your pack. So I'm going to quantify what I mean there. On this particular pack, I'll put loops on the shoulder harness where I can carry water bottles, one either side. On this pack, on the waistband is Molly, where I can put my water bottles on my hip. If you really do have to carry water on the side of your pack or on the back, it has Molly here, and I do have a Molly water bag which can go behind this rocket pocket. I could put water on the back of the pack, but that is really bad advice because it's pulling the weight back and you want the weight close up to you. That is why on trekking packs, the sleeve to put your water bladder in is right next to your back. You don't want it away from your back. I prefer mine on my hips or my shoulders, but that is up to you. I also have a kind of a webbing belt that goes with this, and it has 2 water bottles attached to it. So the mantra to what we have seen today is small amounts of the right kit, not a ton of kit. Right kit. I'm not talking about what brand it is. I'm talking about the elements that should be in your kit. IOU. First of all, that is your big issue. Sort that out. Something to sleep in, on, under, IOU. Get that sorted first. If you can find a smaller, lighter sleeping bag that is equally as warm, do it. Put it in. But don't overthink it now. The second thing to think about is your cook system. Keep it separate if you can. I like this pack because of that. I have my stove, I have my fuel, and then I can fill up between 3 and 5 days of rations, and that only remains now for my incidentals kit, which is really pretty small. And I have another pouch on the other side completely empty, and that will be explained to you. We're just going down the bottom of the hill here because I've got a thirst on and there's a river down there. Come on, let's go. So this pack has a rocket on the side that is completely empty. That is kept empty only for the sole purpose of my survival kit, which can be unzipped, and then I can use this pack like a civilian would for camping. So I've just come into a clearing here with some better light while I briefly show you the incidentals which keep in the top hood. This is my tissue paper. I do not hide that in my ablutions kit. I do not hide that anywhere actually. This belongs, so it's quick and easy to access. Illumination is another one. You can use whatever illumination you want. That is a head torch. It's rechargeable. It's not a very good one, but it's served me for years. Also, I do have an ablutions kit, a fire making kit, and a tailoring kit in there. And that is pretty much all I need other than a knife. A knife here, it doesn't have to be a big Rambo Bowie knife. And remember, I'm not splitting wood or anything. This is adequate enough. At best, I just want to cut some cord, maybe. This isn't all about how heavy we can make our kit. by putting lots of stuff in. It's about small amounts of the right kit and not a ton of kit. So let's weigh up everything here and how it's going to sustain me. I am going to be dry. I have my waterproofs and a shelter. Warm. I'm going to be warm. I've got a little jacket to put on. That could be your jacket, a merino wool jumper, whatever you trust. I'm going to be sleeping off the ground, preferably insulated with that air pad. If you prefer a foam roll, this pack supports a foam roll quite well underneath. That's your choice. I'm not swaying people what they should and shouldn't put in the pack. It's more the philosophy. So I'm warm, I'm dry because of the shelter, I'm well fed, and you can choose what road you go down to be well fed. I could go lighter with freeze-dried meals, but I wouldn't use this pack. I'd just bring my camping pack. This is a 50-litre 5-day bug out bag. If you look at it from that perspective, you might not want the tent. It depends if you can get flat ground, or you'd rather string it in the woods like that on uneven terrain. That could be your sleet sheet, you know, your basher or your poncho. They're your decisions. So all in all here, well under 10 kilos. I've saved the guy 7.3 kilos on his system. It's a mindset philosophy, this, and it is a difficult one for some people to get their head around. And I know there's going to be some people who are saying, what about this? What about that? You haven't got one of these in, you haven't got one of them. For 3 to 5 days, that is all I need. I will add in the addition of something like an IFAK, you know, which is your personal first aid kit. And I'm not going to show you this on this video because, again, that can be quite controversial what you're putting in these. And if you don't have the same mindset as somebody else, you've got the wrong first aid kit. So I never do first aid kit videos. You know, if you want to stitch yourself up like Rambo, you go ahead, my son. But I am from a trekking background where I've walked hundreds and hundreds of miles with my lightweight trekking pack, and it is lightweight. I don't carry the food with me because I'm stopping off at a pub for a pub lunch, and in the morning I'm getting a croissant and a coffee from a coffee shop, and then I'm going across the road to get some food out for a tin, maybe a curry and rice like we said before, slam it in my little lightweight pack, and I'm off for another 5-10 miles, whatever I can manage, set up for the night and cook that meal. This is different. Everything has to be self-supporting for 3 to 5 days, which that is. So remember, it's 3 to 5 days. It can be done just like this, only if you want. You can change any elements of this you want, but the key here is small amounts of the right kit, not a ton of kit. I've sorted out my shelter, my insulation, my cook set, and my incidentals. Just 4 elements to this pack that I need to consider. Just 4 elements. A lot of people are going down the road now of lightening up the bug out bags. In days gone by, a bug out bag on YouTube were great big things and really heavy, and I've never ever supported that. Even my bug out bag, even back in the day, never topped 12 kilos ever. And now this for a bug out is adequate enough. I could get away with this tent, you know, I really could. I've had a few nights out in it. I would probably swap it out for a basher and save myself 400 grams, a little easier to set up, but I would also have to add in the addition of a bivvy bag. They're just considerations. The weight would still be much the same. So a good 7.3 kilos saving on a subscriber's Bergen weight. Just because you see a bit of space left over now you've saved the weight, don't go running into where you keep your kit and find something to put in that space. It is there for a reason, that space. Keep it empty. Remember, if you have room in your kit, it's easier to carry, it's easier to load. I'm not really big into stuff sacks, but I will use a pack liner. And that is it. That is it. Small amounts of the right kit, not a ton of kit. Till next time, take care of yourself. See you out there, happy trails.